1, Jack lived in a small village nestled in the foothills of a great mountain range. He had always felt a sense of restlessness and adventure in his heart, and he often dreamed of exploring the world beyond the boundaries of his village. One day, while wandering in the forest on the outskirts of the village, Jack stumbled upon an old, tattered map. The map appeared to lead to a hidden kingdom, shrouded in secrecy and surrounded by magical barriers. Jack was fascinated by the mystery of it all and knew he had to find out more. He took the map back to his small, run-down cottage and examined it more closely. The map was old and weathered, with many tears and creases, but Jack could still make out most of the details. It showed a winding path through dense forests, over rugged mountains, and across treacherous rivers. The path led to a hidden kingdom, marked only by a single, mysterious symbol. Jack was determined to follow the map and uncover the secrets of the hidden kingdom. He knew he couldn't do it alone, so he began to search for a companion who could help him on his journey. One day, while exploring the village market, Jack met a brave warrior princess named Leila. She had been traveling through the village, seeking information about the hidden kingdom, and the two quickly struck up a conversation. Leila was intrigued by Jack's determination and knowledge of the map, and she agreed to join him on his quest to uncover the secrets of the hidden kingdom. Together, they set out on the winding path, following the map's directions into the wilderness. As they traveled deeper into the forest, they encountered many challenges and obstacles, including treacherous rivers, steep cliffs, and dangerous creatures. But with each challenge they faced, their resolve grew stronger, and they pressed on towards their goal. After many long days of travel, Jack and Leila finally reached the gates of the Forbidden Kingdom. As they stood before the imposing barrier, they knew that their adventure was only beginning. Chapter 2, Jack and Leila continued their journey along the winding path, heading towards the Forbidden Kingdom. The journey was long and arduous, but they were determined to reach their destination. As they made their way through a dense forest, they suddenly heard the sound of hooves pounding on the dirt road. They turned to see a group of travelers approaching on horseback, led by a tall, regal-looking woman with a fierce expression on her face. The woman introduced herself as Queen Celeste, ruler of the neighboring kingdom. She had heard rumors of Jack and Leila's quest to uncover the secrets of the Forbidden Kingdom and had come to offer her assistance. Jack and Leila were wary of the Queen's offer, knowing that the Forbidden Kingdom was shrouded in secrecy and that anyone who attempted to enter without permission risked great danger. But Queen Celeste was insistent, and she offered to join them on their journey, bringing with her a group of skilled warriors and a wealth of knowledge about the surrounding area. The journey continued, with Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste's group traveling together through the forest. As they traveled, they encountered many obstacles and challenges, but with the Queen's assistance, they were able to overcome them all. They crossed treacherous rivers, climbed steep cliffs, and fought off dangerous creatures that lurked in the shadows. Jack and Leila grew to trust Queen Celeste and her warriors, who proved themselves to be brave and capable allies. Finally, after many days of travel, they reached the edge of the Forbidden Kingdom. As they stood at the border, Jack and Leila knew that the real challenge was only just beginning. But with Queen Celeste and her warriors at their side, they felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. Chapter 3, After arriving at the border of the Forbidden Kingdom, Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste's group set out to find a way through the towering walls that surrounded it. They searched for hours, but found no obvious way in. Finally, Jack noticed a small, hidden path leading into the wilderness beyond the walls. It was treacherous and overgrown, but Jack was determined to follow it, and the rest of the group agreed to follow him. As they made their way through the wilderness, they encountered all sorts of strange and wondrous creatures. They saw glittering insects that glowed like fireflies, towering trees with bark that glimmered like gold, and flocks of colorful birds that sang beautiful melodies. But as they journeyed deeper into the wilderness, the creatures became more dangerous. They encountered a pack of snarling wolves, a giant spider that spun webs as thick as ropes, and a group of trolls who demanded they pay a toll to pass through their territory. Despite these challenges, Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste's group continued on, driven by their curiosity and determination. They were guided by the map, which seemed to be leading them towards a mysterious destination deep within the wilderness. Finally, after days of travel, they arrived at a hidden cave that was marked on the map. Inside, they discovered a hidden chamber filled with ancient artifacts and glowing stones that seemed to pulse with energy. As they explored the chamber, they suddenly heard a sound that sent chills down their spines. It was the sound of heavy footsteps, coming from deep within the cave. They knew they had to act fast if they were to uncover the secrets of the Forbidden Kingdom before it was too late. Chapter 4: The Battle of Light and Darkness. Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste braced themselves for the magical duel with the powerful sorcerer who had been controlling the Forbidden Kingdom for centuries. The sorcerer unleashed a barrage of dark magic, conjuring up bolts of black lightning and summoning shadowy creatures to do his bidding. But Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste were not deterred. They drew upon their own magical abilities, channeling their power into bolts of bright light that countered the sorcerer's dark magic. The duel raged on for hours, with neither side gaining the upper hand. Spells flew back and forth, and the ground shook with the force of their magic. Finally, Jack and Leila realized that they needed to work together if they were to defeat the sorcerer. They combined their powers, creating a beam of pure light that burned away the sorcerer's dark magic and sent him tumbling to the ground. With the sorcerer defeated, the Forbidden Kingdom was finally free. The streets filled with people who had been hiding in fear, and the buildings came to life once again. Jack, Leila, and Queen Celeste were hailed as heroes, and a grand celebration was held in their honor. But as they looked out over the now thriving kingdom, Jack and Leila realized that their journey was far from over. There were still other magical dangers lurking in the world, and they knew that they would need to stay vigilant if they were to keep the light of goodness shining bright. Chapter 5: After their victory over the sorcerer in the Forbidden Kingdom, Jack and Leila continued their journey to confront the most powerful wizard in all the land, who was rumored to have the ability to control time itself. Their journey took them through treacherous mountain passes and dark forests filled with dangerous beasts. But finally, they arrived at the wizard's lair, a towering castle perched atop a jagged mountain peak. As they approached the castle, they were greeted by a strange figure, a small, mischievous creature with a twinkle in his eye. The creature told them that he could help them enter the castle, but only if they could solve a series of riddles and puzzles. Jack and Leila were up to the challenge, and they quickly solved the puzzles the creature presented to them. Impressed by their intellect and determination, the creature led them to a secret entrance into the castle. Inside the castle, Jack and Leila found themselves in a labyrinthine maze of twisting corridors and hidden chambers. They encountered numerous traps and obstacles, but they were able to use their wits and their magical abilities to overcome them. Finally, they reached the heart of the castle, where the wizard himself awaited them. The wizard was a formidable foe, with powers that far exceeded anything Jack and Leila had encountered before. But they were not afraid. They drew upon their own magical abilities, using their strength and their courage to stand up to the wizard and his dark powers. After a long and grueling battle, Jack and Leila emerged victorious. The wizard was defeated, and his lair was destroyed. Jack and Leila looked out over the world beyond the castle, knowing that they had saved it from the threat of the most powerful wizard in all the land. Chapter 6: With the wizard defeated and the land saved from his dark powers, Jack and Leila began their journey home. But as they traveled, they realized that there were still many unanswered questions about the wizard's past and his plans for the future. They decided to return to the ruins of the wizard's lair to see if they could uncover any clues about his history and his motivations. As they searched the rubble and debris, they discovered a hidden chamber that contained a trove of ancient scrolls and books. The scrolls contained secrets that had been lost for centuries, including spells and incantations that had not been used in generations. Jack and Leila pored over the scrolls, studying the ancient texts and trying to decipher their meanings. As they read, they began to realize that the wizard's motives were not as evil as they had originally believed. In fact, he had been trying to protect the land from an even greater threat, a dark force that was gathering strength in a distant corner of the world. Determined to learn more, Jack and Leila set out on a new quest, traveling to the far reaches of the land to uncover the secrets of the dark force and find a way to stop it. Their journey was long and difficult, filled with dangerous beasts and treacherous terrain. But they pressed on, driven by their determination to save the land from destruction. Finally, they arrived at the dark force's stronghold, a forbidding fortress that loomed over the surrounding countryside. With their magical powers and their newfound knowledge, Jack and Leila launched a fierce assault on the fortress, battling their way through the hordes of minions that guarded the dark force. In the end, they emerged victorious, having defeated the dark force and saved the land from certain doom. With their mission accomplished, Jack and Leila returned home, proud of the knowledge they had gained and the adventures they had experienced. Chapter 7. As the sun began to set on the horizon, Jack and Leila stood before the gates of the dark force's stronghold, their hearts heavy with the weight of the decision that lay ahead. They had come so far, fought so hard, and risked so much to get to this point. Now they had to make a choice, to storm the fortress and confront the dark force head-on, or to turn back and retreat to safety. Jack looked over at Leila, who stood tall and resolute beside him, her eyes fixed on the fortress before them. He knew what she was thinking, and he felt the same way. They had come too far to turn back now. With a nod of agreement, they stepped forward to face their destiny. As they entered the dark force's lair, they encountered all manner of obstacles, from traps and snares to minions of the dark force itself. But Jack and Leila persevered, using their wits, their skills, and their magic to overcome each challenge. Finally, they reached the throne room, where the dark force sat upon a throne of bones, his twisted features contorted in a sneer of contempt. "You have come far, mortals," he hissed. "But you will go no further." Jack and Leila stepped forward, their magic crackling around them like a shield. "We have come to end your tyranny," Jack said, his voice steady and strong. The dark force laughed, a sound like the scraping of knives on stone. "You have no idea what you are up against," he said. "I am the master of this realm, the wielder of dark magic beyond your feeble understanding." But Jack and Leila were undaunted. With a final surge of power, they unleashed a blast of pure magic that sent the dark force reeling backward. As the dust settled, they stood victorious, the dark force vanquished. But victory came at a cost. As they emerged from the fortress, battered and bruised but triumphant, they realized that the consequences of their actions would follow them for the rest of their lives. They had made their choice, and they had paid the price. As they journeyed back to their village, they knew that their lives would never be the same. But they also knew that they had made a difference, that they had stood up to darkness and prevailed. And that, in the end, was all that mattered.